All right, y'all, I'm excited to check this video out because we have another MJ video, man, another Michael Jackson video. It's his last 48 hours that he was alive and doing the last performance, you know. So we finna go ahead and get around to this, check out his last performance before his passing of Michael Jackson. It's the last 2 days, basically. Let's go, let's get into this.
48 hours before the world lost Michael Jackson.
In breaking news, there are unconfirmed reports that Michael Jackson has died in a Los Angeles hospital.
He was on stage, giving a performance that no one knew would be his last. He moved with purpose, sang with fire, and looked like he was ready to reclaim his crown.
Are you being serious?
Watch Jackson Day.
No.
We're not taking out. Michael Jackson is most everywhere.
But behind the lights, something was off. People close to him felt it. Some saw the signs. Others ignored them. This wasn't just any rehearsal. This was the moment the King of Pop reminded everyone why he was the greatest entertainer of all time. Right before everything came crashing down. What really happened in those final 48 hours? What was Michael going through behind the scenes? And why does that last performance still haunt the people who were there? Let's go inside the final hours of a legend and uncover the truth behind Michael Jackson's last performance before he died.
Bro, even Michael Jackson practices will be so intense. Like, that's why they was able to basically like showcase as basically like the actual performance, because Michael practices was like his real live performances. Like, he still put in the same energy and intense effort as if he was actually performing in front of 100,000 people, bro. Like, he did not slack at all. Hey!
In early 2009, Michael Jackson was preparing for what would have been the most legendary comeback in music history.
It really would have.
A 50-show residency at London's O2 Arena called This Is It. The world was buzzing. Tickets sold out in minutes. Fans were ready to witness the King of Pop.
That's how you knew. That's how you knew. Tickets sold out in minutes. Minutes. Sold out. Not in a day. Not in a day. In minutes. The tickets, they sold out in minutes. That's how you knew. It would have been legendary.
Pop's grand return after years away from the spotlight. For Michael, this wasn't just a tour. It was his moment to prove the critics wrong, to show the world that he was still the greatest to ever do it. He was pouring everything into the rehearsals, from dance routines to vocals to the tiniest stage details. Every move had to be perfect. Every note had to hit hard. He wasn't just rehearsing. He was working like his entire legacy was on the line.
Facts.
But behind the scenes, those closest to him were starting to worry. The schedule was brutal. The pressure was building. And Michael, though determined, was pushing his body to the limit. He wanted to give the fans a show they'd never forget. He just didn't know it would be his last.
Hey, thank you. Man. You're the best, Michael.
On the night of June 23rd, 2009, just 2 days before his death, Michael Jackson stepped onto the stage at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Cameras were rolling. The team was finally running through a full dress rehearsal for This Is It. And for a brief moment, everything felt right. Michael performed They Don't Care About Us with passion and precision, surrounded by dancers, lights, and the vision he'd been building for months. He looked alive, focused, almost glowing. His longtime vocal coach, Dorian Holley, said there were no signs of trouble. Michael was sharp, energized, and finally seeing the show come together for the first time. But there was something else. Holley noticed Michael seemed reflective, like he wasn't just thinking about the show, but something bigger. Michael kept saying it wasn't about him, that this concert was meant to spread love, protect the planet, and wake people up. It was more than a performance. It was a message. That night, the King of Pop gave it everything he had. No one knew it would be the last time he'd ever perform on stage. While the public saw a confident performer preparing for a legendary comeback, those behind the scenes were starting to sense something else, something they couldn't quite explain. Dorian Holley, who had worked with Michael since 1987, said there was a different energy around him in those final days. Michael wasn't just focused on choreography or set lists. He seemed deeply introspective. He spoke often about love, about healing the planet, about using the stage as a platform for change.
That's all Michael really wanted to do, was make a real change in the world, bro. That's all he cared about, for real. That ain't his music, but he really Like his number one priority was definitely making a change in the world for the better. Like he wanted world peace. That was what he was all about. He wanted world peace.
It was like he knew this performance had a greater purpose. But not everyone was reassured by what they saw. His longtime bodyguard, Bill Whitfield, admitted that Michael looked more fragile than usual. He was rehearsing for hours, barely resting, and surrounded by people who all wanted a piece of him. He was definitely stressed out, Whitfield said. And stress kills. Others
Stress
close to him
kills.
described the environment as chaotic. Too many yes men, too much pressure, and not enough protection. Some say the people around Michael were draining him emotionally and physically, adding even more weight to an already impossible burden. Something wasn't right, and in hindsight, they could all feel it. The morning of June 25th, 2009, started like any other at Michael Jackson's rented mansion in Holmby Hills. His chef, Kai Chase, arrived to prepare lunch, just like she did every day. But something was different. Michael's doctor, Conrad Murray, usually came downstairs early carrying oxygen tanks. That morning, he didn't. At first, no one thought much of it. Maybe Michael was just sleeping in. But around noon, everything shifted. Dr. Murray suddenly rushed downstairs in a panic, yelling, "Go get Prince!" He was frantic, shouting louder than anyone had ever heard him. Prince, Michael's oldest son, ran upstairs. The house turned silent. Then came the sound of footsteps, crying, shouting, and paramedics rushing in. Kai walked into the hallway and saw Michael's children crying. His daughter was in tears. Staff members stood frozen. No one knew what to say. The air felt heavy. Something was terribly wrong. The small group inside the home, the chef, the nanny, the kids, and a few housekeepers, held hands and prayed. "Please let Mr. Jackson be okay," they whispered. But deep down, many already knew. By 1:30 p.m., security told everyone to leave the property. Michael had been taken to the hospital, and just 1 hour later, the unthinkable would be confirmed. At exactly 2:26 p.m. Pacific time, the news broke. Michael Jackson was gone, pronounced dead at UCLA Medical Center, just hours after collapsing in his home. The world stopped. Fans cried in the streets.
Facts, the world definitely stopped. The world definitely stopped for a full solid day. A day, probably like a week, really. The world did stop for a full solid day, though, for sure.
Channels interrupted regular programming. People didn't want to believe it. They couldn't. His bodyguard, Bill Whitfield, said when he first got the call, he thought it was a mistake. After all, there had been false rumors before. He remembered a moment when they were once driving through Virginia, and a radio station falsely announced Michael's death. Michael was literally sitting in the back seat. He just laughed and said, "I get that all the time." But this time, it wasn't a rumor. It was real. The official cause of death would later be revealed. An overdose of propofol, a powerful sedative used by his personal physician, Dr. Conrad Murray. In 2011, Murray was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to prison. But even with a conviction, many still ask the same question. How did this happen?
It's the day the music died. This is definitely something that's going to hit our generation forever.
This seems so unreal. I just cannot believe that this is happening.
How did one of the greatest performers in history, in the middle of a comeback, just vanish in an instant? In the days and years that followed, the world searched for answers. Yes, Dr. Conrad Murray was convicted, but many felt the blame didn't stop with him. Those closest to Michael believed his death wasn't caused by just one moment or one person, but by years of pressure, exploitation, and emotional exhaustion. Bodyguard Bill Whitfield said it best. "I've often been asked what I think killed him, and I've told people, a lot of everything, and that includes a lot of us." Michael had become the center of a circus, surrounded by people who wanted something from him. Everyone needed a piece of the king, but who was actually protecting him? Who was making sure he rested, ate, recovered? Even his chef noticed the red flags. She saw Dr. Murray carrying oxygen tanks in and out of his room every morning. Why didn't anyone say anything? The stress, the pressure, the relentless rehearsal.
Hey, I ain't really know about the oxygen tanks things either. Why didn't nobody say nothing about that? Like, that was definitely a red flag. Like, if the people that saw them oxygen tanks getting carried in and out his room every day should have said something then. Like, hold on, let's put off this tour for a solid month or a week, a couple weeks or two or something, until he's fully healthy.
The broken trust. It was all building. And in the end, it may have been too much for one man to carry. That final performance on June 23rd wasn't just another rehearsal. Looking back, it felt like a message. One last gift from a man who gave everything to his art. Michael sang "They Don't Care About Us" like he meant every word. He moved like he still had something to prove, not to the world, but to himself. His team saw it. His vocal coach saw it. He was ready, Dorian Holley said. He knew he was about to take the world back, and he wasn't afraid. He wasn't hesitant. He was locked in. All the pain, all the pressure, he turned it into performance. That's what made Michael Jackson who he was. Even when the world tried to tear him down, he rose through the music. No one watching that night knew it would be the last time he'd ever step on a stage. But maybe Michael did. Maybe that's why he gave it everything. There was no second take, no encore, just one last unforgettable moment. Michael Jackson didn't just pass, he left. He left this world after delivering one last message through movement, music, and meaning. That final performance wasn't for applause, it wasn't for headlines. It was a moment of truth from a man who had nothing left to prove, but everything left to give. In just 48 hours, the world lost the greatest performer to ever walk a stage. But the footage lives on. The energy remains.
The footage definitely live on for sure.
And that haunting question still echoes in the minds of millions. What if there had been just one more show? One more chance for the world to witness the comeback of a lifetime?
But honestly, with them recording the practices, because they recorded the practices, that's how they made like that, the movie, what was it called? The last, This Is It. That's how they made the movie This Is It. Like, so it's like, you can kind of get a little bit of the last performance and the last show from there, from This Is It. That's what I feel like. That's what it was for, you know. Like, I feel like they wanted to do both. Like, they wanted to show the practice performance, and then they also wanted to show when he's out performing live in front of the fans. But they didn't. That's not how it went down. That's not how it went down. But you still got to see what he was gonna do. Like, what was his plans, what he was gonna do, and what he wanted to do. But yeah, man, those was the last 48 hours. He spent his last 48 hours literally working and practicing. That speaks volumes, and that shows right there what Michael was really about. He spent his last 48 hours just working hard and practicing to perfection. That's all, you know, that's legacy. That's what you call perfecting your craft, and that's what you call greatness. That's what you call greatness, basically, you know. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though, down in the comments below. If y'all enjoy checking out this video with your boy Jamario, hit the like button for me as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new so you don't miss no new video every time I drop a new video for y'all. And I'll see y'all in the next video.